Level 1, the tryhard casual. You are 19. Dropout. You live in your childhood bedroom in Parma, Ohio. The glow-in-the-dark stars are still on the ceiling. You started playing League because of a girl on Discord. You talked every night for 4 months. You sent her Discord Nitro. You sent her a $40 Steam card for a webcam that was broken. Then the webcam worked. She was a 34-year-old man named Greg from Tucson. He laughed. He posted the chat logs in the server. That is the whole reason you started. No deeper story. Your mom used to tell relatives you were figuring things out. Now she changes the subject. Your dad stopped asking you to pass the salt. He just reaches across you. You have become furniture in your own house. You grind ranked at 2 a.m., the only hour the house is quiet enough to forget where you are. Your mouse is a hand-me-down Logitech G2-0-3 with a left click that double fires, so every death is plausibly the mouse. You believe that every time. Your monitor runs at 60 hertz. Everyone who beats you is on 240. You are losing to people you cannot fully see. You are gold. You have been gold for 2 years. The enemy team types gold Andy before you've made a single play. They are not wrong. Then you open Twitch. Marcus, 19. Same age as you. Challenger. 6,000 viewers a night. He queues into your game on a smurf. He solo kills you 3 times. He pings your corpse each time. He clips it live and titles it Gold Andy Thinks He's a Mid Laner. 90,000 views by morning. His whole brand is being cruel to people worse than him. 40,000 teenagers think that is aspirational. He got famous beating up a kid behind a gas station and filming it. The kid is you. The gas station is ranked. You mute him. Then you unmute, because you have to know what he typed. You close the tab. What you don't know yet is that Marcus is the reason you almost quit, and the reason you don't. Level 2, the challenger. You are not competing yet. You are studying how competing gets done. That sounds like the same thing. It is not. You tell your parents this is a career now. Your dad asks if a career comes with health insurance. You don't answer. They stop setting a place for you at dinner. You eat alone upstairs at 3 a.m. Nobody fights about it anymore. That's the part that gets you. The fighting at least meant they still expected something. Your friends from school post their first paychecks now. You watch on a 60Hz monitor and decide they settled. You play 14 hours a day. The only clock that still means anything is the patch cycle. You climb barely. And it is always the jungler. 5 accounts. 50 junglers. One common denominator. It is never the man in the chair. So you force yourself to watch your own replays. It is the worst footage you have ever seen, and you are the villain in all of it. You overroam. You shove the wave and abandon the CS. You ping the enemy jungler and never once look at where he is. Then the PC. You buy a used $900 pre-built off a forum. A GTX 1660. A CPU cooler held on with a single zip tie. Fans like a hairdryer. The previous owner never wiped the drive. There's a folder of replays still on it. 600 of them. 1 KR account. It peaked rank 1 1400 LP, then went dark in the summer of 2022. The summoner name is 3 Hangul characters. And nobody you ask can tell you if it's a name or just a word. No stream. No team. A player who reached the top of the entire world and chose to disappear. The healthiest decision anyone in this story will make. You treat it like a treasure map instead of a warning. You watch how he plays. He freezes a wave on purpose. He gives a turret to take the whole other side of the map. He recalls 3 seconds before you would have known there was a reason to. No video teaches what's on that drive. So you stop watching montages. You start copying the boring decisions. Your gameplay turns ugly. No flashy plays. No clips. Just a mid who farms and refuses to die for free. And you climb. 11 ranks in 11 days. Then more. You climb by getting more boring. Somewhere, a 14-year-old is already doing the same thing to take the spot you haven't even reached yet. The food chain has a Discord. You hit Challenger at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. Rank 700. You scream into a pillow so you don't wake the house that already gave up on you. You have nobody to tell. So you send 14 amateur teams the same screenshot. 13 never open it. It is the most honest scouting report you will ever get. The 14th replies at 6 a.m. come Scrim Thursday. We need a warm body mid. You read warm body more times than you'll admit. You say yes before the message finishes loading. Then Marcus gets the starting mid job on an academy team. A real organization. A real salary. A jersey with his name on the back. The Gold Andy clip crosses 400,000 views. Strangers still tag you in it. One team hasn't replied yet. Level 3, the open qualifier competitor. 4 days after that scrim, the team enters you in your first real tournament. A Battlefy open bracket, free to enter. 256 teams, single elimination. Best of 3. The prize for a weekend of grown men giving up their lives is $0 and a slot in a Tier 3 league nobody watches. They call it the Dream. Your team is 5 strangers and a Discord call. The support is on 80 ping and swears it's fine. He's been lagging since 2019 and built a whole personality around denying it. The subtexts, "I'll be there 100% the night before." The closer a man gets to 100, the deader the no-show. Morning comes. He's gone. You are the warm body, and now you don't even have a backup warm body. Round 1, you draw a roster of washed ex-pros farming opens for ranking points and beer money. They have LAN experience. They have a coach. You have a guy on 80 ping and your mom asking through the door if you've eaten. You panic. You first time Malzahar. Point, click, press R, pray. You just don't want to be the reason you lose. Your teammates don't know your name. They call you mid in comms. One of them calls you Phil the whole series. You answer to it. You answer to it fast. 26 minutes in, you become the reason you lose. You see a fight that isn't there. You flash over a wall alone into 4 people. You hand them a free shutdown. The game ends. Your IGL doesn't flame you. He just goes quiet on comms. That quiet is worse than anything he could say. In the lobby, someone on the other team types, "Lol, who queued the Gold Andy?" The clip found you again. 2 years old and still on time. Game 2. Win or go home. Something in you decides you'd rather lose as yourself than survive as a coward. You lock Azir. The Ghost's worst matchup. The champ everyone bans because it's miserable from behind. You play it boring. Freeze. Deny. Scale. Never die for free. You win the lane by 40 Cs and you don't even smile, because 40 Cs in a best of 1 means nothing and you already know it. You won't understand for 5 more years that this exact instinct refusing the safe pick when it matters most is the whole job you're auditioning for. You don't qualify. You go 1-1 and lose the tiebreaker on total kills. The bracket grays your name and forgets you in about 8 seconds. You prepared for a month. The internet needed 8 seconds. You drive home. Your mom asks how it went. You say good. You go upstairs. But you beat an ex-bro in lane. On camera. On a pick that's supposed to be unplayable. The caster says it half joking, already onto the next game. Remember that name. That's a world's mid in 3 patches. He forgets he said it before the next loading screen. You don't. A scout for a Tier 3 organization was watching that game. You don't know that yet. Level 4, the amateur team player. You take the tryout. You make the roster of an organization 5 months old. A logo someone made in an afternoon. A Discord with 400 members and 3 of them awake. $0 in the bank. A pyramid scheme where somehow everyone is at the bottom. They hand you a jersey. The chess sponsor is a crypto exchange that got indicted in March. A brand that went broke and possibly to federal prison faster than you're about to. You wear it on camera anyway. It's the first time your name has been on the back of anything. This is where you meet scrims. 5 blocks a night against teams better than you. Then the part nobody warns you about. VOD review. The coach is 23. He coaches because his wrists gave out before his career could start. He pauses the replay on your Azir standing in the river doing nothing. He asks the question that ends careers. Why are you here? On the map. Right now. Give me one reason. You don't have one. That's the whole point of the question. The cautionary tale about what this game does to your hands is the man signing your checks. They pay you an exposure. They say it with a straight face. Exposure has never paid a single rent. It has, however, killed several people. You drive 90 minutes to a LAN on $22 of gas. The organization forgets to reimburse it. That same week, the owner posts a graphic about investing in grassroots talent. You are the grassroots. He is the lawnmower. You are 21. You have fans online and $14 in your account. Both feel about equally real. Then your team reaches a regional amateur final. Game 3. The decider. You call a roam nobody drew up. You leave lane at a moment that looks insane on paper. You catch their whole bot side out of position. You saw the exact shape in a 2021 replay, the ghost punishing the same greed on the same timer. The play wins the game. It wins the series. The coach scrubs back to your pathying. He watches it twice. For the first time since you joined, he says nothing at all. You're learning there are two kinds of silence. The kind after you flash into a wall. And this one. You win the circuit. The prize is store credit and one line in a press release. Your mom screenshots it. You don't. But she keeps it.
You notice.
You say nothing. There was a man in the Spectator client during your final who doesn't work for your organization. He works for a Tier 2 Academy team. The kind with a building. A kitchen. Beds. By Monday, he has your Discord. By Monday afternoon, he's typed the sentence that lands like a door opening in the house that stopped setting your place. We want you in the team house. You'd be out of your parents' place by the end of the month. That same month, Marcus gets promoted off academy onto a pro league roster. The youngest starter in the league. You're being scouted for the room he just walked out of. Level 5, the academy team player. You move into the gaming house with one duffel bag and the drive from the old PC in a side pocket. It's a 6-bedroom rental in Chatsworth, an hour from the studio when the 101 isn't moving. 10 people. One working bathroom. They call it a gaming house. It's a group home for boys who are good at clicking. Scrims at 10 a.m. solo queue till 4 a.m. for the first time. The word salary sits next to your name. The number is small. It's the most money you've ever made. And it comes whether you win or lose. A freelance agent who slid into your DMS the week you hit Challenger handles the paperwork. The contract is 14 pages. There's a buyout clause on page 6. A number that prices a human being off 4 VODs. The way a used car gets appraised by a man who glanced at it for 12 minutes. There's a streaming minimum. 40 hours a month. Their channel. Their schedule. That's how you end up live at 2 a.m. to 12 viewers. Just hitting a number. Like a hostage reading a statement. The house, the gear, the boot camp. All listed as things the organization provides. Provides is a soft word for owns. What they're buying, you understand by page 11, is your time. All of it. You sign that same afternoon. Your agent says nobody signs that fast. You don't tell her you read every word and signed anyway. You decided the access was worth what it cost. Academy life comes with staff. A nutritionist hands you a meal plan. It's dead by Thursday, replaced by energy drinks and whatever is within reach of the keyboard. An elite athlete running on Monster. Diabetes pending. A sports psychologist asks, in a soft voice, how you're managing your tilt. The org contractually owns every waking hour that produces that tilt. They built it. Then they build you for the cure. An analyst hands you a spreadsheet of your own game. CS at 10. Death timers. Vision score. There's a column in the header labeled risk management. You get very good at the numbers in that column. It takes a full year to understand that being the best in the league at obeying a spreadsheet is not a strength. It's the warning sign with the lights off. Then the streak. 7 games. Safe, sanded down, org approved. You make the academy playoffs. The crowd is 200 people and a stream nobody's parents are watching. It doesn't matter even slightly, because it's real. And the noise when you win goes straight through the middle of your chest. That moment was real. Hold on to it. Everything after this needs it to have been real first. Then the call comes from upstairs. The main roster's starting mid-cracks at the international qualifier. He drops games he should close. The organization needs a substitute who already knows the system and won't ask a single hard question in the press room. Someone who fits the spreadsheet exactly. You fit it exactly. That's the problem. It's the one thing you still can't see. They call you up to the pro league, not as a starter, as the substitute. Promoted into the exact room where Marcus already starts. His name 2 lines above yours on the depth chart. Level 6, the pro league substitute. You have a jersey with your name on the back, a seat in the team's row, a lanyard that clears 3 layers of security, and 0 official games played. You are, functionally, a meme with health insurance. The crowd roars when the lineup hits the screen. The name they roar isn't yours. Then the first walkout. They bring the team onto the stage at the league studio in downtown LA. The sound hits before the lights do. A packed house, 300 people who skipped work on a Saturday. A wall of noise you feel in your sternum. You stand inside it. And for one full breath, it's exactly the thing you pictured at 2 a.m. on a double-clicking mouse. In a bedroom full of plastic stars. Nobody warned you it would actually deliver. It delivers. Then you sit down. And you keep sitting. You are the most prepared player in the building. That is exactly why you sit. They keep the genius on the bench and start the man who won't ask questions. You clap on cue from the row. A sub who isn't clapping is a locker room problem by Monday. You are paid to look happy about not playing. There is merch with your name on it now. A kid in the crowd wears a jersey with your name and has never seen you play a game. You sign it after the show. Then the wrist starts. A dull ache in the right hand after a 14-hour scrim day. Then it stops stretching out. Then it's there when you wake up before you've touched a mouse. The team doctor presses 2 fingers into the tendon. He watches your face. He says the word tendon. Then he says manage your hours. Then he says a number of months you stop hearing because that one word already did enough. He tells you to play less. That same night you cue 6 more games. The kid on the bench behind you is 17. He doesn't have a wrist yet. Pain, you decide, is just the rent on the seat. Nobody tells you the high life is a layaway plan on your own body. Then a scrim. No stage. No crowd. No cameras. Just the practice room and a draft the coach lets you test. You lock Azir, the unplayable one. You take Marcus apart in a game that doesn't officially exist. The coach pauses the replay on your level 2 freeze. The boring one. The nothing play. He watches it twice. He says nothing. Across the room, the starter stops smiling. Now the organization has a decision it didn't want. The safe, predictable starter the brand is built on. Or the sub who keeps winning the games that don't count on picks the analyst would never approve. Mid-split, the decision makes itself. The starting mid goes 0-4 on stage. The kind of run that turns your name into a verb online. He walks into the coach's office and asks for a break. A reset. The coach turns to the bench. He looks at the one player who's been ready for 2 years and never once used. You're starting Saturday. Level 7, the Pro League starter. Saturday, your first official start on a main stage. And the schedule has handed you, out of every team in the league, Marcus's. The casters welcome you to pro play the only way they know how. They play the clip. 5 years old, a bedroom, a kid getting solo killed 3 times. You might remember him as the Gold Andy meme. 2.3 million views now. The industry's idea of a warm welcome is your worst day in 4K for an arena. One caster adds, off the cuff, be kind of wild if this kid turned into a world's mid someday. He means it as a joke. You file it next to the other one. Champ select. The analyst pushes the safe pick onto your screen. The approved one, the spreadsheet's answer. You lock Azir instead. The off-meta one. The lane nobody's brought to a main stage since patch 11.4. The organization's Discord becomes a grease fire of men who have never been on a stage. The coach's headset goes silent, not the good silence. The other one, the one that means, what are you doing? For 10 minutes it looks like a throw. You're down 20 Cs. The caster's hedge, guessing at what you must be setting up. Marcus solo kills you once. The crowd makes the noise. That low rolling O, that means the whole studio just agreed you're losing. For 4 minutes nobody knows what they're looking at. You don't reach for safe. You hold the line. Then Azir hits his spike. Dead on the timer that 2021 replay promised. The game stops being a question. You make the boring correct roam. You take a tower nobody's guarding. Then the next one. Then the map. The thing that looked like a throw becomes the reason you win. You beat Marcus on the champ that was supposed to lose. The same as that buried you 20 minutes ago flips, all at once. In the post-game interview they ask about the read of the year. You say you learned it from a player you used to study. They ask who. You say they probably wouldn't know the name. You're telling the exact truth. They hear humility. You just can't explain that you were raised, as a player, by a stranger whose name you still can't read. Marcus doesn't gamble. He's run the same 2 champions since he was 15. The scene calls it consistency. It's fear with good fundamentals. His games go exactly where the script says, which is the polite way the analysts tell you a player stopped being scary. Under the clip, the one that's followed you since you were 19, the top comment changes that night. Who's the Gold Andy now? The mob doesn't switch sides, it just picks a new target. The organization's email lands before you've left the building. Subject line, direction. They love the win. They want you to stop freestyling the draft and play the approved pool. The word brand shows up twice. The word trust shows up once, doing the quiet work of a leash. They are congratulating you for the exact thing they're about to ban. You already know what the meeting will ask you to give up. You take the start permanently. You take the leash with it. Level 8, the regional champion. You played the approved pool all split. Leashed. Disciplined. Effective. You won anyway. Now you're on the stage at the LC's finals, a sold-out arena in Newark. Confetti loaded in the rafters, and a trophy under the lights the whole room understands the weight of. A stylist dresses you now. A grown man whose entire job is to make you look like you didn't try. A media manager runs the version of you that lives online. Aim 5. The series on the line. The enemy draft does the one thing that should break you. They ban your comfort picks, the safe pool, all of it. They leave you nothing the organization ever approved. So you go back to the drive. Azir, the bedroom instinct. On the biggest domestic stage there is, with a title on the line, you pick the thing that's only ever worked when nothing else was left. You win the series. They name you finals MVP. Then they hand you a microphone. And you do something the media manager did not approve. You don't thank the organization or the sponsors. You thank a stranger. You tell an arena about a used PC and a folder of replays the last owner forgot to delete. 600 games. One rank 1 account from Korea that vanished. A name you still can't read. Nobody in the building knows what you're talking about. A clip of you saying it does 80,000 likes overnight. Captioned, "What is this man talking about?" Somewhere that player hears about it. Or never does. You make your peace with never knowing. That night the trophy goes on a shelf in the team house. Next to the old hard drive you pulled out of that PC and never threw away. One of them you won in front of cameras. The other one taught you how. You know which one did the work. Marcus isn't here. You checked. His original benched him for a 16-year-old in the spring. He spent the off-season doing the things washed prodigies do. He sells signed HyperX mousepads on Whatnot. He did a day-in-the-life video, and the life was a 6-hour stream to 200 people and a DoorDash bag. He still plays the same champion he bullied you on 5 years ago. The meta moved. He didn't. The kid who told you ranked isn't a personality, made ranked his entire personality, and then aged out of it at 24. The scene describes his peak in the past tense. You feel nothing about it. You already read your own obituary in a renewal clause. The renewal lands that same week. Bigger salary. More brand alignment. A scheduling clause that doesn't acknowledge that your wrist now has a standing appointment with an ice pack. The agent puts a lawyer on it for 2 days. You win back exactly one thing. Your own champion pool on stage. Which means they let you choose how you get used. Freedom is a cage with a window in it. Winning the region means one thing above all the rest. The slot. You've qualified for Worlds. A handwritten note arrives with the paperwork. Congratulations on a historic run. It's addressed to your stage name. A man who doesn't exist congratulated on behalf of a man who never reads it. You put it in a drawer. You open a blank scrim client. 20 minutes pass. The screen stays empty. You no longer know what your game looks like when there's nobody behind your chair telling you what to pick. Level 9, the world champion. The Gakyak Sky Dome in Seoul holds 18,000 people. Every one of them is here for the cup at center stage. Under a velvet cloth. The one with the whole history of the game engraved down the base. You're in the final. In Korea, the same server the ghost on your drive played out of at 4 a.m. for nobody. And across the gap, on the losing team's bench, in a jersey that isn't his, sits Marcus. He never made it back to a starter spot. He's here as an emergency sub for a teammate stuck at immigration. He will not play a single map. He flew 13 hours to sit on a stage and clap. He posted a photo of the dome this morning with a caption about the journey. The journey ends with him applauding you because the camera is on the losing bench and he knows exactly where it points. The kid who clipped you for content is now content. Somebody is clipping him right now. Between games you ice the wrist under the desk in the shadow the cameras can't reach. You're about to lift a trophy with a hand that already filed for divorce. You turn your sensitivity up a notch anyway. Playing scared is the only way you've ever actually lost. Game 5. They ban every safe pick you own. The same move that took a region. The move the whole world runs on you now. So you do the only thing that has ever truly worked. You pick Azir, the bedroom instinct. The throw that wasn't. On the single biggest stage the game has ever built, with the title on the line, you reach back into a folder a stranger forgot to delete. You play it boring, correct? Unflashy. For 38 minutes. Freeze. Deny. Scale. Never die for free. Exactly the way a rank 1 account nobody can name played 600 quiet games at 4 a.m. for no crowd at all. And you take the map apart piece by piece. You lift the cup. The clip, Gold Andy thinks he's a mid laner. The worst night of your teenage life is now the most replayed before they were famous video in the scene. And the kid who recorded it is 40 feet away, on his feet, clapping, because the cameras are on the losing bench and he knows exactly where they point. Your parents are watching from the kitchen in Parma, At the table that stopped setting your place, your mom is crying. Your dad doesn't understand the game, but he understands a trophy. You find this out later from a relative who doesn't quite know how to say it either. Tuesday. Nothing on the calendar for the first time in years. No scrim block, no media day, no email. You won the whole thing. The reward is a silence that feels less like winning and more like being let go. You plug the old hard drive into your rig. 2 seconds to load. 600 games. Still there. Still no name you can read. You stopped wanting to know who he was a while ago. The best player you ever saw reached the top of the world and chose to disappear. You reached it and stayed until they handed you a cup. Only one of you got out. You open one replay. 2021. The boring freeze that taught you everything. The machine moves on the second you stop saying yes. It never loved you. It was renting you. The lease ends the morning after the parade. The whole career was just you, trying to play the game the way one stranger already played it. Alone. At 4 a.m. for nobody. That was always the whole job. If this one stayed with you, like the video and drop a comment with where you're watching from, subscribe for more,